Chelsea is the most successful team.
Yeah.
What are these podcasts doing to us?
देखिए একটু দাঁড়া একটু
Hey boys, what's up?
What's up, fam?
What's up? So, this was for all those watching. This was actually not planned into our schedule. We just thought of having a nice pre-game week discussion, and obviously, this does not interfere with our other game week discussions. We'll be having one as soon as game week 2 starts. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. This will hopefully, be a short discussion because we don't have much to talk about, but we still thought that there are some issues that we would like to discuss, some that concern the world of football, especially the Premier League. So anyway, guys, let's hit it, and let's actually get started off with the transfer market. I'm very happy because both Reguilon and Bale are going to Tottenham, and it's almost a done deal. And the reason I'm very happy is because finally Tottenham will get the the front three that we always wanted them to get. That's Bale, Son, and Harry Kane. And I'm sure Dele Alli will push back and play in the midfield. And that combined with Reguilon playing alongside Reguilon, then Doherty, Alderweireld, Dyer. I think that Tottenham has actually built a pretty good team with this transfer.
Imagine Eriksen in this team. I think it would have been a total big hit as a team.
Yeah, but wouldn't Eriksen clash? Like, wouldn't he have to be brought on as a substitute or be subbed off?
I'd play him CM any day over Dele Alli.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, this is I really want to get into this. This is something. Yesterday I was wearing a Real Madrid jersey. The other day, today I'm wearing a Barcelona jersey. So I'm going to attack Real Madrid. So this is like, in a way, I'm pretty happy because our arch rivals don't get Reguilon or Bale, but what's really up with Manchester United at this point of time? We saw all the transfers fall through at this point of time. Did you guys see that meme? It's like Solskjaer out of a car and this girl at
Why are you running?
Yeah, why are you running? Every transfer, why are you running? Moving forward, okay, now obviously transfer talk is a big fail. Let's just straight up get into the matches for the week.
Right.
Everton versus West Brom. At 5
Right.
o'clock, then Leeds and Fulham, and United and Crystal Palace. So yeah, also we have Arsenal and West Ham. That's a little later on. So yeah, let's start by talking about Everton and Leeds. I honestly expect Leeds
West
to
Brom.
3-0.
West Brom, Everton and West Brom.
So okay, let's talk about
Everton and West Brom, yeah. Everton
so-
and West Brom.
So yeah, let's get into that. What are your predictions? What do you feel the turnout's going to be like?
I think Everton are gonna win this game fair and hard because as we have seen in the last game, they were pretty good in their attack and keeping the ball under their possession, while the other team failed to, like a good team like Tottenham, and who were talking about just a few minutes ago, like they have retained one of their old sellouts, Gareth Bale. That was a good signing. I think Zidane never had any plans to keep Bale in his team. So yeah, I feel good he has moved on. Like, I've been hearing rumors about Gareth Bale coming to Man United since the last 2-3 years. I don't know, but I'm pretty happy he's coming back to Tottenham, to his team, which got him the
Made him the highest.
made him the player he is today. Yeah. Moving back to Everton, I think Everton are gonna do a pretty decent job. Carlos Ancelotti team have been rocking up the field. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'd like to add, I really want West Brom to show some character. It's not like because they are playing Everton, they should give up early on in the game. Everton do have a history of not not being consistent in the EPL, be it
Yeah.
big clubs or small clubs. They somehow manage not to win a few easy games. So, but I think it will be an easy game for Everton compared to the previous game week. I think West Brom need to get their shit together, and Everton need to
They
be like stable in the midfield. That's it. I think
I
that's an
think my
easy job.
only worry for Everton versus West Brom, like in terms of Everton, would be Pickford. Because as Andrew said, Everton's not really consistent, and I think one player that really isn't like Pickford is like the embodiment of that. He's not consistent. He can play one game like he'll outperform everybody, and he'll look like the star goalkeeper and the first choice for England any day over anybody else. And then the other day you're just like, wait, how is this guy still playing in the Prem? So like he's a bit of a worry because as we saw against Tottenham as well, Everton did miss out on some great chances. So if West Brom can actually hold them back, like ensure that these people they don't convert or they miss their good chances, then and they can somehow force Pickford into making a mistake, I think West Brom do stand a chance. I wouldn't count them out completely.
West
So,
Brom coming into the Premier League just after being promoted from the lower league. Uh, I I don't think they would probably give much competition to the Everton squad because
Right.
uh, they are they're well polished, I guess. Carlo
Hmm.
Ancelotti has uh, finally made Everton play as a team. I have seen that in the last game, which Everton have been failing for quite some time, like during the previous years and so. So yeah, Bunny, you wanted to add something.
Yeah, man. West Brom and Everton, the first game of game week 2. Everton looked very, very good the last time they, came around. James Rodriguez, was had a pretty decent game, and you know, it's not only me. I think most of us haven't seen anything concrete as of yet in terms of performance from West Brom, and it's just one of those things. I think it's going to be a comfortable win for Everton if things go accordingly to their plans. And fun fact: against no side have West Brom kept more clean sheets in the Premier League against Everton, 8, level with Sunderland. So these are these little facts that would probably keep people on their toes, but I wouldn't expect much going in from West Brom, because Everton could be quite a menacing opposition for any PL team, and the new replacements coming from the side of Everton. Really looking forward to the game.
Okay, so now we get into Liverpool. Sorry, Leeds. I've been saying Liverpool Leeds so much. So now we're getting into Fulham versus Leeds. So yeah, Fulham coming off like from a fresh win against Ipswich Town in the EFL Cup, and also by the way, the EFL Cup draws for I think the top teams are going to be done today. So we'll get to know who like Manchester City and all are facing.
I think City will. I am guessing City will face Bournemouth.
Yeah, probably. But it'll be excited to see Ake versus Bournemouth. But yeah, moving on, like Fulham, they lost to Arsenal at home. Pretty embarrassing 3-0 loss. And now they're facing Fulham, which is, and now they're facing
Leeds.
Leeds, which is another championship team. So do you expect this to be kind of like two championship teams coming into Premier League, a different kind of a game, or do you expect this to be kind of how a mid-table team would finish off Fulham?
Mm.
Fulham has got a decent squad. The last match we had with Fulham,
Arsenal was
Alexander,
exceptional last match. I think you can't blame
right,
Fulham for their poor performance. I think Arsenal
Fair.
was
right,
way, way, way better than them.
Hmm.
right.
Fair.
I mean, of course, there's if there's like, of course, Abubakar Kamara is one of those strikers that are really young,
Hmm.
and he started the game. I seriously thought that probably Alexander Mitrovic will be starting, because he's more of the senior player, and he when after when he came on, Mitrovic, he looked really more comfortable with the ball from an attacking perspective. So I expect, Mitrovic to step up his game. He's been in the PL for some time now, and he looks really he's a really tall lad. In the third half, he looks really dangerous. So going into this second game, I expect Fulham to give a tough competition to somebody, some teams such as Leeds. Even Leeds have quite a good side. They've signed Rodrigo. They've got Tom Kearney. I like those players. And yeah, man. Let's see. I personally, for me, I think it's going to be a really open-ended game. Both the squads have to prove something going on to the competition in the initial stages.
Yeah, Shubham, you wanted to add something to this?
Yeah, Leeds and Fulham, they have been quite familiar with each other for the past season and two. The last year when both the teams were in the championship, I guess there was a 20 points lead when it comes.
20 points leads for
Leeds for the
Leeds.
Leeds. Yeah. They just broke my tongue. So Leeds Fulham know who they are facing.
I just wonder what the commentator is gonna be like during when Leeds
Leeds by 1-0.
Leeds by one goal. But it's just gonna sound weird, and I'm just gonna looking forward to how the commentator frames it up. Anyway.
Yeah, Andrew, anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, I think it's going
I
to be
was
an
not
interesting match.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Okay,
so sorry.
no. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Shubham, yeah, continue. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
That's like Gareth
Leeds.
Bale telling Real Madrid fans, "I'm not finished.
I'm
man.
not
I'm
finished.
not finished.
Playing golf.
So
Yeah.
jokes apart, Leeds really gave a tough game for Liverpool. To Liverpool, and I think it wasn't fair enough at the end when Liverpool got the penalty, which Rodrigo helped them to get. Yeah,
That was just unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
It was
planned for that to
unfortunate.
happen.
Yeah.
but
See,
then-
like I honestly, I remember last podcast, I abused the shit out of Rodrigo. I'm
Yeah, you
done
did.
with that rage.
Yeah, you did.
But like
I'm sure even Marcelo did.
I'm sure Marcelo did much more. I'm sure Marcelo did much more to Rodrigo.
Marcelo looks like the guy, yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, he's so tense. Like the entire match, I saw him. Also, have you ever seen a person be so comfortable with squatting? I don't know a single non-Indian who's comfortable with squatting so many times. Like the entire match, he's just squatting and he's looking. Okay, this is how it's going. I'm like, bro, how do you think in such an uncomfortable position? I would shit my pants.
I can't think. My mind will be concentrating on my
Bro,
like,
I
legs.
swear. And I think all of us have played football. All of us are familiar with, the squats and everything. And this guy's like, always he's down. I'm like, you have a chair over there. Stop making everyone feel fucking uncomfortable. But yeah, Andrew, let's move to you. Like, what do you expect? Fulham Leeds.
No, I just want to add, just I think Shubham had made this point where he was like, they're familiar with playing each other. So I think that is an advantage for both the teams, and as well as a disadvantage for both the teams, because more than the other teams in the Premier League know the weaknesses of Leeds or say Fulham. I think these two know about their weaknesses, like each other's weaknesses, more than any other team in the EPL.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good game.
Okay, cool. So now let's get into the juicy part.
Awaited game.
Yeah, the
Crystal
Manchester
Palace, Man
United versus Crystal Palace. I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping Crystal Palace pulls off an upset.
Yeah, man, it's like Wilfried Zaha versus Wilfried Zaha. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so yeah, but again, United, no Maguire. We all know why. Let's not mention it, but we all know why.
No, but I'm really excited to watch why they bought Van der Beek, and I really hope he plays tomorrow.
Yeah, I swear. I'm looking forward to Van der Beek.
On the flip side, like this Manchester United fixture, I think it's their first game, right?
Yeah,
they
first
haven't
game of the
played
league,
yet. So really excited to seeing the new squad, the new formations, the new plans that Solskjaer has made for the team. But that is pretty much the question that everybody has on their tip of the tongue, which is Van de Beek gonna play? And if he does, how is he gonna perform? Is he like, people are so up and about proving players if they're ready for the PL or not based on just one game. But then it's like Kai Havertz has a bad game. I mean, fairly not up to his standards, and you would expect players that are coming from a different league altogether to kind of take their time. Speaking of time, Nicolas Pepe has still not turned up, but then hopefully Van de Beek takes a little less time, and. But then going into the game, what do you guys think about? Do you guys think Van de Beek is gonna make an appearance tomorrow in the midfield?
I'm really hoping he would.
Yeah, I'm actually more excited to see Van de Beek and Bruno pair up. I want to see how, Van de Beek, Bruno, Pogba. I want to see how that entire chemistry works
That's
out.
A tremendous midfield if you think about it.
Yeah, that's a tremendous midfield. Now the point is, when you have players like when you have those three, and then you have Rashford and Martial, and
I thought you were going to talk about the defense. Sorry.
No. You have Rashford and Martial as well. So it's obviously something that scares people. But on the other hand, coming back in the defense, we have Wan-Bissaka, Bunny's favorite player.
Also, Wan-Bissaka is facing his old team.
Yeah. And Zaha is as well. Zaha is also facing his old team.
Zaha's gonna send him to sleep.
I don't think Crystal Palace would give a competition, because they are without their defensive players like Gary Cahill, Patrick Van Aanholt. They aren't even playing. So I believe Man United's forward attack will have a great chance to exploit these holes. I think that will be the good term.
I mean, as a neutral person, not a fan of Manchester United, not a fan of Crystal Palace, but you would expect, with that sort of a midfield and the reputation the forwards have as well, you would expect good spells of play from Manchester United, provided it's the first game in the PL, and hoping to see that ideal midfield for Manchester United. I think midfield is an area where Manchester United definitely have don't have to invest anymore. They have to invest in the other aspects of the game, surely, but not the midfield. I think the midfield is sorted if they could retain the players.
If you look at the depth of the midfield, they even have Mason Greenwood. I think I'm pretty hyped to look up to him.
Great talent.
Yeah, I think this is the season. I think he'll prove why he should be in the first team, topping over Van de Beek. Like, to be honest, I'm sure.
I honestly feel Solskjaer would be smart enough to mold Greenwood into more of an attacking winger. If he can do that, United, they're sorted. I'd really be looking forward to the derby this year, but I doubt, because Greenwood and Foden did get kicked out of the England team, so that's going to be a bummer for them morally.
Yeah, they're going to thank themselves.
I don't know why, but then, ever since I've seen Mason Greenwood play, he reminds me a lot of a young Riyad Mahrez, and I don't know why. It's probably his attacking style, probably the position he plays in, probably the way he cuts into between the defenders, finds pockets of space, and then shoots. It's proven lethal. You would not expect an effective sort of a player who's so much is young, is extremely young for that matter. You can just expect players like this to grow much and much when they're in such a club such as Manchester United. But then, it's a tough spot to be in. The Manchester United squad, it's a tough club to support right now.
True.
I know a lot of Manchester United supporters who I haven't seen active. I said
recently I've not noticed a lot of United.
They were my friends, and right now they're not coexisting in the world. Where are they? I wonder.
Bro, they're off the matrix. But yeah, this is just to just a message to all United fans. It's not that we don't respect your club. We do.
Right, of course not.
I honestly, as a City supporter, we do. Both.
My wall is red.
Yeah, and
But my
so is
t-shirt is
this
blue.
part of my jersey? It's red. But no, all jokes aside, we respect your club. But obviously, it's we crack jokes on our club as well. So please don't get offended by it. And if you do, I really look forward to your trolls. I'm so I'm just yearning for us to hear. Well, do you have a history before 2008? Like so like but otherwise no hard feelings, guys. It's just fun banter. Okay, so next up we have Arsenal West Ham. Fuck it, not important. We have Southampton.
No.
Sheesh.
No, it's
I
important.
saw Bunny's face and his heart broke. His face sank.
I just saw him and he's
Like he came up,
he's like
fucker came prepared with only one topic in this podcast.
Yeah, if you don't talk about that, my career is over.
much like Mesut Ozil's. So
Bruh.
bruh. Okay, so Arsenal West Ham. Lacazette. I want to really talk about him. Great performance first match, not just because he scored a goal which should have been would obviously be converted, but throughout the match he was pretty good. Like contrary to what other people say, I was talking to this friend of mine about FPL, and he was telling me he was discussing the transfers, and he said I have enough money and my choice is like Lacazette, and like I think I can go for Oba if I want. And I'm like, okay, why don't you try out Lacazette? If you don't have enough money, then maybe you can go for him. I don't remember exactly what was his price, but yeah. And then he was like, no man, Lacazette is like so And then I just texted him after Arsenal won. I'm like, yeah, bro, what's so about him now? So yeah, it's not like I have Lacazette on my FPL either. But yeah, what do you guys
Lacazette
think?
just gets. I mean, it's not like he performs really well. He's groundbreaking as a player, but then it's like he kind of gets shitted on as a player just because it's such a bipolar combination. Him and Aubameyang is like probably like scores the most goals, but then Lacazette, as compared to Aubameyang, is not that effective. But then I think he is one of our key players. He has been one of our key players before Oba came in. Before, like when I remember when Giroud left, and there was this massive gap in the attack line that had to be filled, and Alex Lacazette took the job with open arms, and kind of he had a really good season to begin with, and then kind of you could say he kind of his pace kind of to score goals, to be effective as a goal scorer kind of halted. But I wouldn't say he's a player, just to be. I mean, but then it's true though. He's not been up to his standards. I think the standards he kind of set two seasons back.
I think he
in that
like
shadow.
the way he played his first 5 to 10 games, he set the expectations way too high.
Way too high.
And
right.
he's not being able to match those expectations.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not a bad player, but he's like you say, he's not consistent.
Yeah, I mean, that's also true. On the national team sort of a basis, he never gets called on. I guess why that is because France, tremendous amount of quality on that bench, tremendous amount of players in every position basically. But I think
yet get subdued by Giroud.
Exactly. I don't understand the point. Giroud doesn't even see starting lineups as often. But then what I'm saying, like Giroud had his fair share of time, and he's kind of, we can all, I think, not Shubham, but then the rest three we can agree. Please agree because Giroud left.
Yeah. He scored a few amazing goals.
But anyway, but Giroud on his good day, Giroud could be lethal.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah, I think no one will discount the fact that Giroud is a legendary player. Like, it does not matter whether every time he scores something bad happens, but like, you know,
Bro, he's performed for Chelsea as well.
yeah. But like,
Yeah.
wait, was that Ramsey or was that Giroud? Like,
That was Ramsey,
that
bro.
was
That is why I'm
Ramsey.
like,
Yeah, sorry.
every time Giroud scores, nothing happened. We were like on fine and stuff.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but that curse broke long back.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, but Giroud is, yeah, I don't know why I've always confused them for some reason. Like, for some reason I used to be like, oh, Giroud's not made it to the squad. Well, who else does Wales have? And everyone's looking at me like, huh?
Wales.
Like, Wales?
Dude, I get you. I completely,
Yeah.
like jumble up between West Ham and Aston Villa every time I speak about them. So
Oh, also
There are
talking
these
about
three
Aston
teams with the
Villa.
same jersey colors.
Exactly,
Burnley,
right?
Aston Villa, and
That's pretty much
West
how I
Ham.
remember
Yeah.
games by.
West
Like
Ham,
colours,
West
obviously,
Brom.
we've seen that. But then
West Brom
Aston
is
Villa and
still-
West
So
Ham,
West Brom has a different, slightly different jersey. But
Slightly
more
different.
importantly, talking about Aston Villa, Jack Grealish has extended his contract for another
Right.
5 years. So again, United fans, it happens. So, but like mainly, I think the only question on Solskjaer's mind right now is, why are you running?
Why are you running?
But okay,
Why are you
running? Yeah, why are you running? Okay, putting all that aside, coming back to the Arsenal West Ham game.
Can we get that meme here when Rishi's like saying this? I can
Why
send the
you
meme.
run?
Aditya can do that. Leave space now. Aditya, meme.
Okay, so moving on now, we obviously Arsenal and West Ham bunnies obviously put in a lot. Now I open it up to Shubham and Andrew. What do you guys think? What's it going to be like?
Before just going to take this
Funny.
opportunity to point out just a little thing that happened last day. Emi Martinez. We've got to talk about
Yeah.
Emi Martinez. Emi
Yeah.
Martinez swapped ships with Aston Villa.
Yeah.
And right, like the next game is with Aston Villa. So I don't expect Emi Martinez to make an appearance. But I just hope that Emi Martinez deserves the playing time. He's been on the sidelines for us for 10 years now, probably 11 years. But, he's ever
proud.
since like Mope caused that injury to Bernd Leno and he went off. Emi Martinez came on and he's been phenomenal. He'd been phenomenal for us against Man City, against Chelsea, against Liverpool on twice, like 2 occasions, clean sheets. He looks like a very tall, strong goalkeeper.
No, I don't think Chelsea and Liverpool won clean sheets.
Huh? No, I mean clean sheets in general, like a lot more clean sheets. Like,
He's like
Chelsea
Cleaner
won
display.
clean sheets. I'm like,
but then definitely cleaner sheet. You know what I'm saying?
Cleaner sheet, yeah.
okay, Shubham, you wanted to say
Yeah.
something?
Like since you all were talking about Lacazette, I feel the gameplay Lacazette and Aubameyang contribute. I think it's quite similar to the game which we had seen. Not the game actually, the strike pair we have seen back in the 2013-14 Liverpool squad between Sturridge and Suarez. I think I see the same strategy, the same gameplay.
Why do people forget Sterling? He didn't do anything about that season. Even he was there.
He was there, but like, yeah, bro, they scored around 70 goals together. So
Yeah,
We
but
scored more than
something.
100 in 2 seasons.
Sterling was a subject.
Sterling is
Okay.
that ex-girlfriend who was like really unattractive back in school, but then suddenly got hot out of nowhere.
No,
Nobody
Bro,
expected them to, but then
this is a dig directly at
hips don't lie.
Yeah, but this is
no,
a
but
dig.
then it's like true. Like three odd years back, you wouldn't have expected Sterling to do what he did right now. But then Sterling is completely on a different plane, as Pep got to him. I guess.
He brings a lot to the match in terms of pace, in terms of crossing the ball. Sometimes, like, he usually doesn't cross the ball much nowadays.
I don't know why.
Because he takes the ball
I mean,
along.
I may be wrong, but then I think this is one of those things that Mikel Arteta does. Probably he kind of brings about like an improvement on individual players. We've seen that with Sterling. We've seen that with fucking Rob Holding. and Mustafi.
No,
But
no,
then-
no, no, no. Sterling's
Talking
improvement
about
does not go
Mustafi,
to
he's
Arteta.
injured.
No, buddy,
yeah,
no,
he's
no,
gone,
no.
he's gone.
Sterling's improvement does not go to Arteta. It goes
Come on,
only
man.
to
He was
Pep.
the assistant manager, man.
So,
He worked with Arteta, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
yeah, he did,
like
but like,
Arteta
come
was
on.
more, he was more focused on players who were supposed to hold the midfield. Like he was
Exactly.
concentrating more on Bernardo Silva. Like if you see Bernardo Silva when he came, right now he's more of a responsible footballer. He doesn't
Hmm.
lose the ball much. Like he can,
Right.
even if he
I would
loses the
say-
ball,
Hmm.
he has the guts to fall back.
I would say he
I
has
think-
found a way to like he's obviously been a very creative footballer, but I think he has now morphed into a more versatile player. He can play F9, he can play on the wing, he can
Or he can push off Van Dijk.
Exactly, he can.
Yeah,
He can in case I thought you were going to say push up Kevin De Bruyne, because that's my next point. He can also become a box to box player in case De Bruyne has to move forward. So like I think Bernardo has changed a lot. But okay, that's for
Yeah,
when we get to the City versus Wolves segment. Coming back, Arsenal,
West Ham.
West Ham. Any final comments? Anything?
Yeah, lastly, I would like to talk about West Ham. I think they have a decent squad. Felipe Anderson, he has been a good replacement since Dimitri Payet has left. Noble has been there for quite some time, and we all know how Declan Rice is a player to watch out for.
Yeah.
And and Fabianski, ex-Arsenal goalkeeper,
Hmm.
a reunion which nobody wanted.
Okay, fair enough. Now, moving on, we have Newcastle and Brighton. Again, not much to talk about over there. More like we don't know enough about them. And after that, we have two teams that are at cutthroat with each other. Chelsea versus
game of the week.
Liverpool.
True.
Yeah.
Chelsea
is
versus
game of the week.
Liverpool, and after that, like I think the only interesting game after that is Wolves versus City. So I'm going to start off by talking about City versus Wolves. For one reason only, it's going to be shorter. So City versus Wolves. What do you guys think? Andrew, I'm going to start off with you.
I'm really worried about our defense. But
Yeah.
at the same time, we should keep in mind that even Wolves are not that great when it comes to defending. I don't know why he's laughing with a defender like Zuma. Okay. Zuma and Rudiger.
Hey,
Oh,
Laporte,
Arsenal-
shut the fuck up.
Bro, second best in the league. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Bye.
Moving
Okay.
on, like City.
Anyway,
Yeah,
he's let's pray for Laporte's speedy recovery because we need him.
What happened to Laporte?
Laporte was
Uh,
COVID positive along with Mahrez. I think they were
But
Mahrez is
positive
back.
on the first day. But Mahrez is back, obviously. And okay, so Andrew has actually, for viewers, Andrew's been freaking out a lot over Wolves because last season we lost like 5-2 to them on aggregate. And both the
First game
matches-
was so humiliating for
Yeah,
us. They
first
didn't
game-
let us attack.
first game, what the fuck was going on, man? Like, I have no idea. And okay, so the kind of a bad omen because Laporte did not play either of the matches against Wolves. So we are hoping he'll be back. But if he's not,
I think
the
Ake
thing is
and
this,
Stones are gonna start.
bro, Otamendi is not.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you
I
need. to
don't
know.
want.
Relax.
I want Otamendi to be thrown.
Yeah, but Otamendi is not
Yeah, you
playing.
can
That's
call
a
it.
huge relief. And okay, now I'm going to throw it out to the non-supporters of City. Bunny, Shubham, what do you guys expect of this game? Do you expect Wolves to pull off an upset? I think they are capable of it. So, like, what do you guys think?
Bunny
Wolves
starts, yeah.
are one of those teams that kind of love disappointing big names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they've done it in the past.
Hmm.
There's absolutely no room that Pep Guardiola could give to the Wolves players tomorrow.
They're like Atletico Madrid in the
Not tomorrow,
Champions
I mean,
League.
then, during the match. You expect kind of Man City to play with their new defender Nathan Ake and Stones as well. I think Stones was in the English side.
Yeah, I think I recall, but I
He
don't
was
think
called
he
up.
played.
No, I don't
guess-
think
No,
Stones
he
was called
probably
up.
didn't play.
He didn't play
No,
for
Stones-
Shaw, but was he
Stones
called
was
up?
not called up.
Yeah,
Bro,
I think
he's
it was
played
only Kyle and
absolutely shit last 2 seasons.
I think it was only Kyle
But he's
Walker.
played
and
in the
Sterling.
past, right? For
Yeah, yeah.
Foden.
national level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Accordingly.
He scored a brace also for England.
Right. Talking about Man City, of course, tremendous side, and one of those powerhouse clubs in the PL. Definitely, they've been doing it in the highest, level consistently, and that
But
is
not in the
exactly what you
Champions
expect.
League, motherfucker.
I mean,
I sounded
it's
like
Pretty
such a
it's
decent, at
not.
United
least
fan
pretty
right
decent.
now. Like, I don't know why I said that. It was like I felt like there's unequal representation.
What
I
are
mean,
these podcasts doing to us?
no, I feel
Hurting
like
us.
my days
We are
incomplete.
questioning our loyalties.
Our loyalties.
I am questioning my loyalty. The other day I was Spain, then Real Madrid, now Barcelona. It's like I'm going towards La Liga now. But no,
Yeah.
I feel
Damn.
like my day is incomplete if I hear someone talk about what City have been doing and not hear these two responses. Yeah, but what about the Champions League, bro?
Champions
And number two, oh, let's see you do all that shit with our oil money. And the irony is, Shubham, no offense, but the irony is a Chelsea supporter told me, what are you going to do with our oil money? I'm like, Mofo, what were you before 2003? Before Abramovich like bought Chelsea? Like it's literally the same thing, and it's kind of.
uh,
I have facts, motherfucker.
Abe,
You come and
oil
say I
was
have
cool.
facts.
Oil was cool a decade ago. Okay,
Yeah.
now we are all renewable now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
man, the decade's gone. Chelsea is the most successful team. Now,
In the
City
last
should aim
decade,
to be
yeah.
the. Yeah. No, but absolutely, Chelsea is the
There's
most
like
successful team.
shake oil and then there's Russian oil. Like they're
Yeah.
both oil, but then not necessarily the same source.
Yeah.
But then,
It's Russian communism.
yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
moving on to the Wolves and City game. What do you guys think? What is going to be the scoreline?
Andrew, what do you think? What was the scoreline going to be? Personally, I feel we can. Okay, sorry, I jumped in too fast. Andrew, what do you think the scoreline is going to be?
3-1 City.
Okay, sure. Bunny.
I think I'm going to go with the same 3-1 City.
Okay, Shubham, if you have checked Google now already.
Yeah. Wolves, since the last 2 years, after being promoted to the highest order of football in in the English country, they have been they have played a back three for they have been playing back three for quite some time, and facing a team like Manchester City and playing a back three, that's a challenge. But still, man, I think City, it will be a comfortable victory for City this season, uh, and I'll go with 2-0 victory for City. Yeah.
Okay, I personally think this, like whatever the result is, City is going to win by one or two goal difference. It can be either a 3-1 or a 4-2. But I just expect them to like I do expect Wolves to score one, but I don't expect them to score like two and stuff. So yeah, I'm still pretty optimistic about City.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Jokes
Okay,
apart, the
moving
game
on.
of the week:
Yeah.
Chelsea and
Versus
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay, I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to just. I'm going to start off with Bunny on this. I'll come to Shubham in the end, so that by the time we go to him, everyone
Yeah.
is diluted their unbiased opinions. So Bunny, bro, what hit me? What do you think about the game?
Before we touch on Chelsea's next game, I think the way kind of Chelsea shaped up for the last game, I was not looking for such a formation from Chelsea. You would kind of expect Kai Havertz or Mason Mount to take a much more central role, and we have seen in the past Mason Mount playing a wide area, but then it's not his particular strength. I think it's not where he thrives. There is this definite position where there's sort of a collision between Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, and I think it's going to be an integral part for Frank Lampard to decide what the forward line, and is he going to play an AMF, or is he going to play with two defensive playmakers with Kante in the middle. But then I think I am expecting Kai Havertz to pull a really good shift in the next match. I think it's one of those teams that any new player coming into the PL would like to have in the CV, right? Kai Havertz, if he pulls an extremely good shift against Liverpool, there's nobody to question his credibility again on social media platforms.
Yeah.
But then it's just big money coming from a different league altogether. Everybody's kind of buzzed so as to if he's going to be that next sort of playmaker for Chelsea for years to come.
Yeah. Okay, Andrew, I'm going to throw it to you. Chelsea, Liverpool. What's on your mind?
Well, I think if, of course, we know what Liverpool are capable of doing, but we also know what Chelsea are capable of doing. Like, even though they didn't have a proper squad last season, towards the end, they did perform brilliantly since the time Lampard has come in. But in order to, match up to Liverpool, I think they need to get their midfield straight. Like, I would really love to see Jorginho, Kante, and Havertz because
Right.
they need because their defense is not so great. We all know that. So Kante needs to step up. He needs to be that box to box player. And Jorginho is the one, like, he passes the ball. You see, he tries to create a lot of balls. And Havertz, of course, he's there. It will be his second game. This is the time where he has to show what he's got. And I'm really expecting him to play well. And for Liverpool, I would say they should get their shit straight. They won last season. This is a new season. So, as I say in every podcast, the
Somebody needs
front
to go
three need
refresh their
to,
memories. That this is the new season. They're still stuck in that.
like,
Van Dijk
seriously,
is still stuck in that. I can see him.
like the front three, they're too reliable on the front three players and
Yeah.
Van Dijk. These four players, and out of which one doesn't do shit, and that is Bobby Firmino. So I think he needs to perform. It's high time he needs to perform.
Okay,
You know
so
what's common? What's
up?
common
Yeah.
between Liverpool and Chelsea?
What?
Arsenal beat them both.
That's his only accomplishment right now. That and the FA Cup.
And we lift the trophy twice.
Yeah, that and he beat City. Like that's been their only.
This is all you will get. You won't get a trophy this season.
Okay,
Bye.
so I'm going to give my 2 cents on Chelsea and Liverpool. Firstly, I'm hoping Werner. We've heard from Lampard. He said Werner will be available for the Liverpool game after the foul against Brighton, the one that led to the penalty. Werner actually has kind of a dead leg, so they're hoping it's just a dead leg. But yeah, I'm hoping Werner plays, and I'm hoping Ziyech and Pulisic they also come back. There's no news report on that, but what I'm actually looking forward to is seeing Chelsea in their prime. Okay, like Chelsea, how we expected them to play. I want Silva's obviously. Thiago Silva's not coming back either. So I think it's going to be a little difficult for Chelsea. But here's where Chelsea is smarter than I would say the other top four clubs. They know how to break a high press. Their defense is not the best, but they do know how to break a high press. We saw that against United in the FA Cup semi-finals. The goal against Bayern, the only goal against Bayern, was because they were able to break that high press. So and you honestly can't shit on Chelsea for losing to Bayern and like
That's what.
They were on a warpath, man.
Hats off, they played 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm actually like in a way they lost 7-1 in 2 games, right? And Barcelona lost like 8-2 in one. So I'm really not sure who's in a position to boast. But yeah, Chelsea, Liverpool. Bunny, before I get to you, Shubham, what do you have to say about the game?
Bro, I'm shitting my pants. This game, I'm serious, man. The performance the Chelsea players showed in their previous game against Brighton, it does not bring any confidence in a Chelsea fan, man. I don't feel confident going into this game. Liverpool, they have been a great attacking squad. They have been scoring goals, but they have been being vulnerable in the back, as the leagues had shown. So I think what Chelsea needs to do is provide the right support, provide the right balls to Werner whenever he is in a position to make a run. And yeah, bro, I'm
But
seriously
like,
shitting my pants.
I
I
do
think if you get
expect.
your midfields like a proper midfield, the proper three midfielders, like central midfielders, I think it's going to be much easier for the defenders.
No, but anyway, we get it. Shubham, thank you. Like, this is actually one of the most unbiased opinions we've heard
True,
from
true, true.
people who are supporting their club. Especially, it's hard to admit
Yeah.
that against Liverpool. No matter how great they are, you just cannot go into a match and say, "Yo, Liverpool's gonna beat us." You know, they're gonna beat us. You always say, "Oh, fuck
Yeah.
them. Like, fuck
Eh,
them."
even if Bayern plays Liverpool tomorrow,
Yeah,
somewhere they will be scared
exactly,
because
Yeah.
exactly. Because like
So
they're dangerous
Klopp
somewhere.
is a
just this question I
dangerous
want
team.
to throw out there. What do you guys think? Who were more dangerous as a squad? Liverpool last season or Bayern this season?
Bayern this season.
Bayern this season,
Bayern
dude.
this season.
There's no doubt about that. And the
You see the
reason,
depth.
like, dude, not just the depth. You see the way they play. Do you see the
True, true.
discipline?
Yeah.
Like, do you see the ethics? It's like I don't know if you guys saw this. Bayern players after winning the Champions League.
Okay, it was just Champions League.
Yeah, like, and
My wife
honestly,
didn't get
if you guys,
pregnant.
yeah,
Now we go back to Bundesliga.
yeah, and now if you now we're back to Bundesliga, and if you actually watch the way Thiago and
Nine.
Pavard were, yeah, the way they were like cheering, it was like they went to war or something. It was like Germany. It was like Hitler invaded France again. You know, he's like, yeah, fucking go there. I'm like, bro, calm down. Like, what is this happening? So yeah, and Hansi
Yeah.
Flick,
After he scored, he was like he's telling Alaba, get back right
yeah,
now.
yeah, and
Get
like
back.
it's just like, yeah, it's great to see a team, be so involved and stuff, and obviously
And
Lewandowski,
so disciplined.
exactly, and Lewandowski alone, I think, like, he scored more goals than the
Yeah.
forward three
Yeah,
of
man.
Liverpool.
Yeah, man. I think also fitness-wise, Bayern Munich side were tremendous. Like fitness-wise,
Insane.
nobody probably could
Insane.
match them.
Insane,
You know
dude.
what I'm
Like,
saying?
I feel like if someone joins Bayern Munich, it's just because their personal trainer told them, like,
Yeah.
to get buffed, and they just go to Bayern, and I don't know what
Yeah,
would
Why
yeah,
go
दो
to a
season
gym
buff
when
up
you
हो
can
के
go
आओ.
to Bayern? Yeah.
दो
yeah,
season buff up हो के आओ जाओ. थोड़ा खा पी के आओ.
exactly.
But then, man, talking about the last game though, Liverpool Chelsea. Personally, I think as if I were a Chelsea fan, the last game Chelsea had, everything was there. The players were there. The new signings were there. Excitement on the faces of Chelsea fans. But the only thing that was missing was fluidity. In all the three aspects
Bro,
throughout the
focus,
pitch.
focus,
Exactly. Like
focus.
I think that's a lot because Chelsea have been the only, not the only. I mean, Chelsea have had the maximum new players coming this season. They've got a lot of new players from different leagues altogether, who haven't had probably the sufficient time to adapt with each other's playing habits and styles. But then going into the tournament deeper and deeper, you would expect the Chelsea players to be more disciplined, sort of in a defensive midfield and attacking perspective. You would expect that fluidity that Liverpool had last season. That is pretty much missing from this season from Liverpool. That fluidity when we talk about it, the passing between Mane, Salah, and Firmino, the ball coming from behind. Van Dijk being fluid throughout the defense. That is what is missing from Liverpool's squad. Basically, their squad is pretty much the same, even this season. If they did that with the same squad last season, they're supposed to do it again this season, right? But then that's not how football works. It's just, I think, the fluidity is missing from the Liverpool squad, and
Yeah,
Chelsea need that fluidity in their game as well, because you put up such a team, such a roster every game of every week. Fans will be looking up to you, and this is the time.
okay. So now Chelsea, Liverpool. I'm sure, like, there's a lot of speculation about it. Andrew, did you, like? I think you had something to talk about. You wanted to say something?
Oh yeah. I had just one point to make, and that is specifically for one player, and that is Kepa Arrizabalaga. He needs to show some character because he makes a few really silly mistakes, which cost like Chelsea. Like in the past, it has costed Chelsea few crucial games where they should have kept clean sheets or either one. But
Mm.
I think he will be better this season because
Because
he didn't have a proper squad last season. But the mistake that he made last game, I think Chelsea deserved a clean sheet.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
because they don't have anyone in the defense, and
Hmm.
like still they were playing like last game. So I think Kepa needs to up his game.
Hmm.
So I think
I want to see
he'll be
Chilwell
the
as
main
well.
man. Yeah,
Chilwell
Chilwell
is out with a
out.
Achilles heel injury.
और
So
I think Thiago Silva দুজনে
hmm.
একসাথেই
Zayek,
চলে গেছে.
Zayek is not playing either. I don't think Zayek is in the team, and so is Pulisic.
Since the pre-game, Brightoner সাথে pre-game হলো না তো pre-game হলো।
Okay, so
Zayek is gone for quite some matches or what? It's a
yeah,
long
dude.
injury.
Yeah, so basically, like I think we can all agree that in fact it's kind of surprising. All of us have shit on so many clubs, so many players, especially like United and Liverpool, but no one has shit on Chelsea for like Kepa. And yeah, that's a little unbiased from our perspective. But the thing is, like,
I think
I think as
Kepa's
all
performance speaks for itself.
exactly, and I think as all fellow like all football fans, we somewhere deep down we feel a little sympathy for Kepa. You know, when you the same thing that happened with Torres as well. You know, after a point, you just don't want to make fun of this guy because you've seen him play so well, and now you know he falls like that. Why the fuck does this happen to Spanish players only? Like you're somewhere here, and then you're just like,
Yeah, like it's a sudden decline in the
yeah,
performance.
like De Gea was a pretty good goalkeeper, and now
Abbe,
he's
it happens. It happens only when the Spanish players are bought in for the highest record fee. Back when Torres was bought in
fair,
Chelsea,
fair
it was
enough.
the highest record fee for any striker paid in the EPL, and now for Kepa, the highest
True,
transfer fee for any goalkeeper. I think
true,
they
true.
get subdued by the pressure they are under, and I think that just shows in their performance.
Yeah, but talking about pressure, Kepa really needs to step up. He see that's what separates a good player from a great player, right? You're not just someone who can deliver and play well. Like I think as Bunny had pointed out last podcast, also the reason why Traore is not great is because it's not about quality always. It's about focus. It's about the way you play. So same with Kepa.
Decision
He
making.
is decision making. He is a great keeper, no doubt about that. Amazing skills, definite. Like there was a point of time I thought Kepa is better than De Gea. I
You know,
still to
one of the
some extent.
best saves last season was actually made by Kepa.
Kepa, exactly.
If
Hmm.
if a person who's not regularly watching English football
Yeah,
like sees that
exactly. You
save, he'll
can't.
think that
Yeah,
whoa,
Kepa is like
this is
one of the
like some
big
other level
names.
keeper.
Yeah, they'll be like, whoa,
Yeah, and
no
also
doubt
you can
he's
count the number of saves Kepa made. Like, so.
true.
Yeah,
So
and
like, yeah,
also the number of goals he's conceded because of his own mistake.
which is
Yeah,
bigger.
that is what it is. Like,
It balances it.
goalkeepers, like for example, if supposedly David Luiz made a mistake, right, he
Which he
would have
does.
a lot more yeah, which he does. Like my point is that if anybody, if any player except for the goalkeeper makes a mistake on the playing field while the ball is still on the field and not in the on the poles, they've got audience doesn't see that. Suppose one player made a mistake, it's like it's all good, it's all done and dusted because it's just one thing in the middle of the pitch. But then once a goalkeeper makes a mistake, that is a game changing mistake because it's the goal.
True.
There's nothing beyond
Yeah.
that point, right? So that mistake, it pretty much takes in a pretty much like black and white situation. It's either wrong for the team or good for the team. We saw Frank Lampard talk about Kepa. We saw Frank Lampard publicly say that he trusts in Kepa. But these are some things that managers have to do for the
Exactly. Yeah.
public eye.
Yeah.
If you've caught your
No,
players
not just for the public eye,
confidence
for the
still.
player as well. Like if you
Confidence,
Yeah,
imagine
true,
your
true.
exactly.
your
Because
managers going
the
out and
way
saying
he's conceded last season, if I were in his place, my confidence level would have been in
exactly,
minus.
exactly. So I think Kepa really needs to buck up, and this is an honest appeal to like all Chelsea fans. Please don't shit on Kepa so much. Like imagine what he must
Give
be
him
going
one more
through.
season.
Give him this season at least.
This season, that's it.
Yeah, and come on, man. It's not like you guys have a Premier League for sure winning squad and Kepa's fucking it up. Your players are pretty like there are flaws as well. Chelsea's defense, City's defense. It's not really like we are star defenders. I think
Arsenal as a team.
Yeah, man.
so.
Pretty dysfunctional though. I mean,
Yeah,
I would
so-
have loved seeing somebody such as like Martinez go to Chelsea much rather than Aston Villa, because he deserves game time.
True, and
Chelsea deserves a goalkeeper. I mean,
and I've
keeper, I'm not
repeatedly
shitting on
said,
him, but then,
yeah,
you know.
I've repeatedly said this as well. I feel John Stones would do really well at Chelsea. He's an English player. He'll fit into that gameplay. But anyway, guys, I think we've had a pretty long conversation about this, and all of us are sleepy as fuck.
Yeah.
আমরা যদি
Things
চেলসির
we
ব্যাপারে
do
এখন
for-
1 ঘন্টাও কথা বলে আদিত্য কাটবে না।
Exactly. Okay, so it's been a pretty long conversation, to be honest. It's gone. We started at like 12:15. It's almost 2. So yeah, Shubham was just saying something about, the sacrifices we make for
Yeah, the sacrifices we made for you guys, for the people who are watching this videos. Please do hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, and do let us know.
Wait.
what you
Where is
think.
the subscribe button? Is it here?
Is
Is
it
it
here?
here?
Is it here? Is
Oh,
it
it's
here?
down.
Okay.
Anywhere, wherever it is,
We don't
find
know our
that,
shit,
smash
bhai,
the
আমরা
hell
YouTube
out of
খুলিছো।
it.
So yeah, guys. Again, thank you to all our viewers. We've been receiving immense support. This means a lot to us. We're just like 4 amateurs who are just doing what we love, and
We love to talk.
we love to talk, as you can figure. And we don't have the
What
best.
else do we love? We
spoken
love to
for
talk,
2
we love
hours
to
now.
shit on players, we love
We love
to
to
talk about
Liverpool.
football.
Yeah, so that's all we can, and this is actually our way of, this is therapy for us as well.
Yeah,
So we are just doing our best to entertain you. So please do react to our posts. We'd love it. We are going live with our Instagram page also pretty soon, and most importantly, shout out to Aditya Raj. Shout out to the rest of our crew, SMC. You guys aren't interested in football. Some of you even dislike our fucking videos, but we still love you. We're still your bros. Remember that. So yeah,
Our own friends dislike our videos.
yeah, which is like kind of sad, kind of in a way encouraging. But yeah, we asked you guys, show us some love. If you don't have love to show us, if you don't like our videos, please let us know. Give us some feedback, shit on us, troll us. As I've said before, Adi, don't cut this one out this time. I'm a Manchester City fan. I wore a Spain jersey. I wore a Real Madrid jersey. Now today I'm wearing a Barcelona jersey. Make fun of me, fuckers.
Rishi,
I'm such a plastic fan.
next day, yeah, no, next day you wear a plastic bag and come.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. This was great. Again, shout out to our boy Adi. And please do like, subscribe, and comment, and show us some love, show us some hate. We either way, we love all of you. We love anyone who subscribes and views. And the other people who don't subscribe or view, you all fuckers are
Fuck
dead
you.
to us. Like fuck you. I'm just kidding. We are free country.
I'm not kidding. Fuck you.
Y'all are missing out on some real fun, and yeah, so
Yeah.
It's okay.
peace
Anyway,
out, and we'll
yeah.
see you in our next video soon after the game week 2.
Okay, so we're going to end this video. Thank you guys for watching. It was really fun. Please do let us know what we can do better, what you guys love, so that we can continue doing it.
If you
And,
want to see something more,
yeah, if you want to
Something
see
more,
something
something new, just let us know in the comments down below.
we are coming up with some new series which are going to go up on our playlist. One includes us debating like hooligans. So everything is still in works. So we're going to come up with that. Instagram page is going to be live pretty soon, and so will our website. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, my homies. It's been lovely talking to you guys, and I honestly, it does not matter whether it's 12 or 3 in the morning. This is something I could do every night of my life. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out, and I'll see
Peace
you
out.
guys very soon.